Hello everybody and welcome to another UPE tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about text editors and IDEs for use when developing in Python. So actually, if you just want to run some Python code, it's as simple as just loading up a terminal. Let me just load up my terminal here. Okay. And you can, let me just go to my desktop directory. So you can simply just nano just a simple text editor on a terminal to run some Python code. So I'll call this test.py. And you could put print hello. If I type it correctly. Alright. Print hello. Write that out. And then Python 3. Alright, so that's the most basic kind of text editor for Python. This is if you want to just run really quick Python code that you just want to test out immediately. You don't want anything crazy going on. So that's the most basic way of doing it, and a lot of people actually just do that when they want to run their Python code. But when you get into bigger projects with lots of files, this isn't kind of really optimal. So the next step is actually using something called VS Code. So this is just Microsoft's kind of code editor, and so you could see here that I'm working on this project. This is just for work. So I have a lot of files. It shows me the exact file structure and has highlighting for errors and kind of like this color coding. It's a lot neater than using just the regular blank terminal with the text editor. So I can actually load up a terminal if I want to run my code here like I have here. Actually, let me just exit that out and then show you how to run that. So you just do terminal, new terminal, and then it pulls up a terminal for me. I can do whatever I want if I want to run this specific file or if I want to run something else or test something else out. So this is what I mainly use, and I don't think there's really anything else you'd kind of want to use. This is kind of works for Python, it works for JavaScript, it works for really anything, and it's got a whole bunch. It's got Docker support. It's got extensions that you can apply, like some WSL extensions, Python extensions, Git extensions. So it's just very versatile, and it's supported by Microsoft, so it's really baked into the Windows system. This is also available on Linux. It's available on Macs, so it's available everywhere. And this is what I mainly use, that and a terminal. You can also run code from using this run thing and then setting up like a command to run. But this is like the best, I think, setup because it's not too overcrowded like other IDEs and text editors. Actually, let me show you other stuff that you can use. Let's see. So there's also something called, I know some people like this, Sublime text editor. Let me show you what that looks like. It's kind of similar to VS Code, but it's just a little bit more limited, I guess, because it doesn't have the extensions options. But it's kind of the exact same thing in a way as VS Code in terms of showing you the file structure. But this is a little bit more basic than VS Code. You could also use that as well. It's just simple as installing the Sublime text editor, and then you're just ready to go. So some people do definitely use that. And then like the big beefy IDE that is widely used for like huge projects in Python is called PyCharm, actually. Let's see. Yeah, so it's kind of it's similar in the way that it shows you the same stuff as VS Code, but this is for like really large scale projects. You see there's a debugger, there's a whole bunch of other stuff. You can do similar stuff in VS Code, but it's not as in depth as like this big IDE called PyCharm. This is used for like industry standards, like when you're developing a huge project, but if you're not doing that, obviously just go with VS Code or Sublime or even a terminal code editor. Uh, yeah, but other than that, I think that's pretty much like the different options for IDEs and text editors for Python. Um, my main recommendation would just be to go with VS Code. It's really easy to install. Um, all you really have to do is type up VS Code in Google, and then it brings you to their site. You just click download VS Code. You install it right away. It's pretty easy, gets you up and running pretty quickly. Um, and then if you don't want to do that, you could use the terminal editor Nano that I showed. But yeah, those are the kind of different steps in text editors. So I hope everybody learned something today about different editors for Python and ways of editing and running Python. And thank you.